Today, we are going to unpack one of the most famous and honestly most misunderstood phrases out there. The medium is the message. It comes from the media theorist Marshall McLuhan, and I'm telling you, it completely changed the way we think about technology. We're constantly debating the pros and cons of new tech, right? Is social media good for us? Is AI going to be a disaster? But what if that whole way of thinking is flawed? What if we're asking the completely wrong question from the get-go? Okay, so let's dive in. And the best place to start is with the conventional wisdom. The way most of us are taught to think about all this stuff. This quote right here from General David Sarnoff, a huge figure in early American radio and television, just captures that common argument perfectly. He lays it out plain and simple. A tool isn't good or bad. It all depends on the person using it. A TV isn't evil. It just matters if you're watching something brilliant or something terrible. See, this is our default setting. The idea that technology itself is neutral, it's just a passive bucket. And what really matters is the content we pour into it. McLuhan had a great name for this kind of thinking: somnambulism. It's like we're sleepwalking through technology, totally unaware of what it's actually doing to us. So along comes McLuhan, and he basically shouts, "Wake up." He offers this radical, mind-bending shift in perspective that flips that whole conventional idea right on its head. And here it is. For McLuhan, the message isn't the TV show you're watching, or the plot of the book, or the words in your text message. No. The real message is how the technology itself, the television, the printing press, the smartphone, fundamentally changes our world, our relationships, and even our own senses on a deep, deep structural level. This comparison just makes it so clear. We get fixated on the content of the railway, the coal or the people it's carrying. But McLuhan says no. The real message of the railway was the creation of brand new massive cities and a totally different rhythm of work and life. Then the airplane comes along. Its content is also people, but its message was the dissolving of the very world that the railway built. You see, the medium itself is what really shapes our world, not what it carries. Now, to prove his point beyond a shadow of a doubt, McLuhan points to a piece of technology that's almost impossible to talk about in the old way because it has no content at all. The electric light. Just think about that for a second. What's its content? Right? A light bulb isn't telling you a story. It has no plot, but its message is colossal. It makes brain surgery possible. It allows for night baseball games. These are things that just could not exist without it. It completely reshapes when and how we get together, pretty much erasing the line between day and night. It changes the entire scale of what humans can do. That is the message. Now, McLuhan points out that we only really think about the light as a medium when it's, say, spelling out a brand name on a giant billboard. But he says that's a trap, because the content, that brand name, is just another medium, writing, being used to distract us from the true revolutionary power of the first medium, the light itself. So if this huge message is all around us, in the very fabric of our lives, why on earth don't we see it? Well, McLuhan's got a powerful answer for that too. I love this quote. It's so vivid. He's saying that the content isn't just passive, it's an active distraction. It's that delicious-looking steak that keeps our brains, the watchdog, totally occupied and happy, while the medium, the burglar, quietly gets to work and completely restructures the entire house without us even noticing. And this slide really shows how that distraction works, in what McLuhan called a shell game. It turns out the content of any new medium is almost always just an older medium. Think about it. A thought becomes the content of speech. Speech becomes the content of writing. Writing becomes the content of print. And then a printed novel becomes the content of a movie. We're always focused on the old thing, the familiar content, and that blinds us to the revolutionary impact of the new container it's in. So here's the crucial thing. Once you understand this whole mechanism, you gain this incredibly powerful new tool for seeing the world. You can actually start to spot the real messages. McLuhan puts it this way, and it's a profound idea. We become what we behold. The tools we make, in turn, make us. We are shaped, we are molded, we are defined by the media we immerse ourselves in. And a lot of the time, it happens without our permission or even our awareness. So here's the bottom line. The biggest effects of any technology happen under the radar, beneath the level of our conscious opinions, by changing how we perceive everything. The key is to look through that juicy piece of meat, the content, and start analyzing the medium itself. And that's how we wake up from what McLuhan called the narcissist trance, where we're just so mesmerized by our own reflection in our technologies that we fail to notice how they're fundamentally changing us. So I'll leave you with this. For just a second, forget about what's on your screen. This video, your social media feed, whatever. The screen itself, the device you're holding, what change in the scale, pace, or pattern of your life is its real message? Once you start asking that question, I promise you'll never see the world the same way again.